Hello everyone, this is Hadrian. Thank you for being here. Let's play some more Subnautica in our Survival School series. Just a quick note before I kick this episode off. In terms of how I'm going to teach the game, and just based on my reflection on how the first episode went, I obviously, well maybe it's not obvious to everybody, but I will not be teaching every little thing about how to play as far as what button does what, and for instance, that hitting the 1 key, switches to my beacon here, hitting the 2 key, switches to my knife, because I assume that there are certain aspects of the game and of the interface and how all this works that are intuitive and that are pretty simple to pick up. So, in the spirit of a good tutorial, if there's ever something that I seem to gloss over because maybe I think it's too simple, or because it's just so simple that I forget to talk about it, but you feel like, I'm not sure how you did that, feel free to leave a comment and I'll be happy to explain, or if it's significant enough, I will actually mention it in a future episode. So I just wanted to make a note about that real quick, because I'm obviously not teaching all of the nitty-gritty. I feel like the series would get bogged down in that. Anyway, speaking of getting bogged down, been talking for a minute. This episode, we're going to go over some of the other equipment you can make, especially stuff that you can do in the beginning of the game, as well as go hunting for some basic fragments. So before we actually leave the landing pod, is it getting dark already? Really? Oh wow. Okay, it was the end of the day and I forgot. Interesting. Also, I think an eclipse is happening right now. There's 2 moons in Subnautica, and I feel like, yep, I was right. The distant moon was behind the close moon. It's one of the coolest aspects of the game. It creates some really cool lighting effects. And yes, if you haven't seen it, this moon can cause an eclipse during the day. It happens pretty regularly. Everything gets really dark really quick, and you'll get really confused. Anyway, so before we leave here, let's look at the fabricator. We're going to go down to equipment and just take a second to talk about some of the other stuff that's available. Obviously, we've already made our oxygen tank. We've already made our fins. We made a radiation suit as well, which is great. Now, the still suit, these ingredients are unknown. I'm assuming because that's actually interesting. Ingredients unknown. That might be new to the prawn suit update. Maybe there's something there that I haven't discovered yet. But what the still suit does is it actually helps you re-ingest bodily fluid, and it generates little bottles of water over time that you can use to help keep yourself hydrated a little faster. Then, of course, you can make first aid kits if you didn't know that. Fire extinguishers, of course. Rebreathers, which when we're done fixing up the Aurora later in the series, we will make a rebreather. Right now, I want to keep our radiation suit helmet on, but the rebreather is very useful once you start diving into deeper areas, and you pretty much want to have one at all times. Also, tools. Welder. We're going to get one of these as soon as possible. Not this episode, but it was pointed out quite rightly in the comments to the first episode that a welder is something you want sooner than later. So don't feel obligated to follow along with everything I do in the tutorial and do things in the order I do them. If you feel that you have the ingredients to go ahead and make a welder or any of this stuff, earlier in the game than I'm showing, by all means, do that. But you can also make a dive reel, which is really cool. I very rarely use these, but whenever you're, diving into a cave system and you don't want to get lost, you can actually anchor this to a point outside the cave and then use it as a way to keep yourself honest. And then, of course, the habitat builder, which we are going to start talking about within the next episode or so. So anyway, before any further time goes by, let's take a look at what we need. Well, actually, to tell you the truth, our hydration situation is getting pretty abysmal. We still have a nutrient block, but we do not have a lot. Hang on, let's open this up and see what kind of storage space we can take advantage of. Yeah, I'm going to put some of this stuff up. Mainly going to put... I'll keep 2 first aid kits on me, and I'll put these acid mushrooms up too. This is actually a lot of resources to be carrying on me, so one thing we might also do is go ahead and build one of the basic storage containers, which is a deployable. So you can build it. Actually, I can build one right now if I wanted to. So tell you what, let's do that. This is a waterproof locker. All it takes is 3 titanium. It's another one of those things that you should just never underestimate how easy they are to build. I'm going to pop out here, and notice once you've made one, you better, number 1, have enough room for it. Number 2, be ready to get rid of it, because they take up so much space. It's insane. So you can edit the label. We're going to make this let's make this a titanium locker, which is usually what I do. Oh, it's upside down. That's terrible. All right. So that's a titanium locker. Next order of business is we're going to have to get some water.
Caution. Mild dehydration detected.
See?
Fluid intake recommended.
All right. So we probably are not... I think these things have 16 spaces. It's actually been a few games since I've used these. Yes, I was right, 16. Wow, I had exactly that much titanium. Okay. Let's pop back in here. Unload the resources a little bit. Yeah. These can go away. Very good. Okay, now we're much better. So, a couple of different ways to get water. You can get... Actually, it's only showing disinfected water at the moment, but once we actually capture one of the other means to get water, which I'll do right now, you will see another method. Let's see. Remind me. Bleach. Salt deposit and a common coral sample. Actually, I had a salt deposit on me, so let's go ahead and get that. Salt deposits, like quartz, kind of pop out a little bit, so they're pretty easy to spot. Here's a fragment. Let's go ahead and see what this one is. Here's our scanner for the first time. SEAGLIDE fragment. So a quick tangent about fragments. You'll notice that right now we're in the prawn suit update, and there are a lot of fragments that just look like those blank white boxes that don't look like they even belong in the world. At some point in the future, all of those will be replaced with actual textured geometric meshes that look like pieces of technology that are similar to what you're actually scanning. Right now, they're still generic artwork like this. So that's why those exist. So if you're playing a future build of Subnautica watching this tutorial, all right, here's a solar panel fragment. Excellent. Need one more of those. And we'll get back to water in just a second. Let's put that away so we swim a little faster. Yes, that is a thing that I've fallen victim to many times in my own Subnautica play and online playthroughs. Just remember that when you have one free hand tied up with something you're carrying, you do swim slower. It is that realistic. So if you have my... Notice I pull my scanner out and boom, it's instantly... Okay, good. Here we go. Done. Just 2 SEAGLIDE fragments, and we have unlocked the SEAGLIDE. So that's, I mean, that's the basics right there. Oh, there we go. Hey, buddy, come here. Bladderfish. All right, so we got a bladderfish. But I also want to get water by another means. Let's see. I just need to find a small coral tube. And you will see what I'm talking about. In order to make bleach, you need a piece of coral. You need a salt deposit. And as I was saying when I jumped into the water, salt deposits do tend to stick out a fair amount. They're very commonly in these little patches. Emergency. So if you're looking for... Okay. Dehydration detected. Oh, hey. Oh, got poisoned. Got a little bit too close to one of those guys without realizing it. That's fine. So yeah, you can usually find salt if you stick close to these colorful patches of terrain near where the acid mushrooms are. Okay, here's a coral tube. Excellent. Smaller coral tube. Well, they're referred to as giant, but they're smaller than the ones we've seen so far. So I've got... Tell you what, let's go crazy. I just need to find 3 more salt, which I may not try and find all that, but... Let's see. One time I'm actually looking for salt is when I can't find it. That's the way things often go in Subnautica, is... You're looking for a particular resource type, and it's just, there's one. And it's just excruciatingly difficult to find. Oh wait, here's another, alright, yeah, this is the coral tube we already knew about, actually. So it's not another coral tube, this is the one that we visited. But yeah, you're looking for a particular resource type, and that particular resource gets... Okay, good, here's 2 right here, perfect. That particular resource gets very rare in the exact moment that you're looking for it, and then as soon as you're not looking for it anymore, everything gets better. So we've unlocked the SEAGLIDE, which is excellent. I want to show you something kind of cool once we get back to the landing pod. Again, I'm keeping my devices put away right now because that would slow me down. Let me go ahead and grab something to eat, though. New creature discovered. Alright, can't pick those guys up. Can pick these guys up, though. Come here. New creature discovered. Alright, notice that my hydration meter is getting pretty darn low. But that's okay. I've got the ingredients for 3 different disinfected waters. Looks like another med kit is ready. I really am starting to hate that sound. I'm sure I'm not the only one. All right, we're going to go ahead and make some bleach. You can do it 3 different times. All you need is 1 bleach per disinfected water. And disinfected water, I believe, are twice as effective as, well, non-disinfected water. Oh, hey, we have enough for 4. Huh. I thought we just gathered enough for 3. Okay. This is what I get for talking while playing. All right, so disinfected water. And also, because we picked up that bladderfish, notice we have the ingredient for it, just a normal filtered water. Not quite as replenishing, but still handy. Alright, so that's all of our water. There I go, jumping by accident again. Yes, H2O plus 20 versus H2O plus 40. So I've still got a couple on me, which was my goal. I am going to go ahead and eat this nutrient block. Some nice 300s. Always love seeing that. And let's go ahead and... I don't have salt on me to actually do a cured... Well, hang on. I might be able to pop down here and grab some salt really fast. There could be some salt nearby. Let's look around. Again, salt can typically be found in these little patches here, so just need to be kind of eagle-eyed. Yep. Oh, wait, no. No. Thought I saw some. There's some right there. Very good. Alright, so we're going to grab some salt. So, the reason I'm grabbing the salt, and believe me, I'm getting to the SEAGLIDE in just a second. The reason we are doing this is that when you cure your food, it's going to last a lot longer. And I want to have some food on me that I can keep. The only downside to that is that the salt, of course, demoisturizes the food. So when you cure something that you're cooking, it actually does take away from your hydration meter slightly, whereas if you were just eating something that you cooked, you would still get a hydration bonus. A small one, but a hydration bonus. And I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to cure... Let's cure the boomerang. But then we're going to cook the whole fish. Alright, so this is a cooked whole fish. Notice there's an H2O plus 3 benefit. However, this whole fish will basically rot very quickly, whereas the cured boomerang, I'm going to keep on me for a while as a snack, now that my nutrient blocks are gone. But I will go ahead and just eat this cooked whole fish on principle, because it's going to go away pretty quick. I want to shut this noise up, so we're going to pick that up. Now, I mentioned that we can now make the SEAGLIDE. And you may recall, in episode 1, I was very adamant about going ahead and making some lubricant. And not only making some lubricant, but before you have the SEAGLIDE, going over to the kelp forest and grabbing as much of the creepvine seed clusters as you possibly could, as many of the creepvine seed clusters as you possibly could, because it would help you make your lubricant, but also all of your initial rubber that you needed for your flippers and your knife and stuff like that. So this is why we went ahead and made that lubricant. We've already got one of the central ingredients, and we don't have to swim back to the kelp forest to make it work. But we do, however, need a battery, and we need some copper wire. But thankfully, I think we have all we need for that, really. So what we're going to do is actually, well, I don't even need to go anywhere. So I've got these acid mushrooms as well. Normally I would have had to pop out down here and just look down and find, see, there was some right there. Again, very easy to find. Just find some acid mushrooms that way. But I already have 2 acid mushrooms and 1 copper, which is what I need for a battery. So we're going to go down here to electronics, and we're going to make some batteries. We're going to make a copper wire. And now I think, now we just need some titanium. Our titanium is, of course, just outside, so let's take care of that. Alright, there's that. And I do want to go ahead and make some more batteries real quick. I want to make 2 more. Let me go over here, pick up some copper, or some, not some copper, some acid mushrooms. Again, very, very plentiful. Never, never, ever sweat it if you are finding yourself short on batteries, because it's pretty easy to find both copper and especially acid mushrooms. But at the same time, it's also possible now to build the battery charger, which came out with the Power Nap update, and makes it very, very easy to stay on top of all that stuff. Alright, so I can now make the SEAGLIDE. Let's do it. Now you're going to see what I was talking about It's so nice to have a SEAGLIDE, but at the same time, I do strongly feel at this current stage in early access that the SEAGLIDE, like other large gun type objects that you can carry, this isn't a gun, but it's the same size as some of the stuff that only takes up 4. What? Oh, that's incredibly glitched. That should be broken. I mean, I'll answer it, but that should be broken. It just fixed itself automatically. I should have had to weld that, I think. That's interesting. Okay, let's play the message.
This is an automated bounce back from the Aurora mining vessel. Your distress signal has been received. An emergency relief team will be dispatched to your location. The estimated arrival time, 9 hours.
Translation, you're screwed. All right, so we're going to play this. So we picked up a signal. This is an automated distress signal from Aurora LifePod 6. Coordinates attached. Please send. I didn't see what the rest of that was. But we have a signal now, which means that when we jump out here, we can look around, and there's LifePod 6 over there. Not even far away. So, first things first. Let's hit the 1 key. Boom. There I go explaining some basics. Now we're going to use the SEAGLIDE to go where we want to go quickly. So, with the remaining 10 minutes or so of this episode, we are going to visit LifePod 6, and we're going to see what we find here, because, you know, fixing the... Normally, I think you would have had to fix that communication relay, but, you know, we didn't have to fix it. It just started working there, which is fine. Gives me the opportunity to look into some other stuff here and show you what other kinds of things can be found once you start following the signals and chasing that stuff. Okay, so this is another kelp forest biome. The kelp forest biomes are plentiful. They kind of surround the safe shallows, so this is one of the farther ones, but it's definitely very much a kelp forest. And I believe, as a matter of fact, they are all attached to a certain extent, but they just kind of wind around. So it's possible to really, really get lost in the kelp forest. All right, so here's LifePod 6.
Emergency. 10 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Let's see what we've got. Oh, interesting. So this is a radiation helmet, it appears. Abandoned PDA. Encyclopedia entry unlocked. Data downloads. Alright, so it looks like radiation gloves. Okay, well, this is unfortunate. Because we already made the radiation suit. So it turns out there is, in fact, a way... Now, I need my... Hang on. Before I look at this, I want to have my flashlight back. Oh, wait. It's on slot 4. Dang it. Go away. Thank you. Sorry. Is there nothing else in here? So it turns out, this must be new with the prawn suit update. Obviously, I'm accustomed to making the radiation suit before there was a way to get it without building it. So that's an example of the kind of thing that you can get, though, if you visit the... Okay, will you stop interrupting me? I'm trying to teach people. Alright, so that's an example of something you can get by visiting some of the other life pods. And there are others that you can acquire the signals to. So it looks like this might be an eclipse. Yep, it's an eclipse. That's fun. Also, right mouse button. Some geometry pop in there, but some the right mouse button will turn your lights off whether you are using the SEAGLIDE or anything else that you might pilot in Subnautica. Right. Alright, so we're pretty close to the original... Alright, there's our landing pod. So, now what I want to do, since we've got the SEAGLIDE, as I said, we were going to tool around with this thing and take a look at some of the other biomes nearby. One of the largest biomes that's right next door to the safe shallows that you'll visit quickly, early on, is called the Grassy Plateaus. And they're grassy plateaus because there are plateaus and there's lots of grass. And as you can see, it's right next to the kelp forest in some instances. I'm going to turn my light on, and we are also going to keep our eyes peeled for any pieces of technology. Be careful when you're down here because there are some
Caution.
friendlies.
Of oxygen
And by friendlies, I mean not friendlies, like those guys. But there's advantages to exploring down here because, as you can see, there's large... Okay, hi. There are large... Those guys are easy to get away from. There are large swaths of just technology and... I'm going to need to replace this battery pretty soon. Yeah, but there are large swaths of just technology and things to be discovered down here in the grassy plateaus. I hear a reef... Hey, reefbacks! These are the whales of Subnautica. I think they're beautiful, but at the same time you get up close, they're kind of ugly. But they're just kind of down here and they make whale-like noises. Alright, so I'm going to take a moment. Alright, got to exchange my battery here, no problem. Done. Okay. We're slightly below our maximum diving capacity as a human being, so that will speed up the rate at which we consume oxygen. So I'm going to try and stay above 100. Would you stop interrupting me, please? Once it turns back to daylight in a few minutes, we're going to go a little bit farther than this, but while it's dark, it actually, similarly to the quartz, it makes it super easy for certain things to pop out at you from down here. Like other life pods. Alright, so
integrating new PDA data.
Let's have a look around here. Oh hey! We got a compass! Awesome! That is very, very new to the prawn suit update. Normally something you would have had to make, but now we can see directionally where we're going. Oh, that's great news. Again, I never said that I wouldn't discover things that were new to me as well when we were playing this, and that's definitely new.
Emergency. 10 seconds of oxygen.
Why do you think I'm, like, flying towards the surface? Chill out. So, at this difficulty level, that voice never shuts up. When you're playing on, I believe, the highest difficulty level, it does stop warning you, which is kind of beautiful. Alright, so I want to take a look around real quick and see if I can show you one of the cooler things that you can find down here so that you can get ahead of me if you want to. Oh, what's this? What have we here? Trash cans? Okay, so here's some trash cans. Now, these probably just have cosmetic purposes. There's not actually trash. There you go.
New blueprint acquired.
There's not actually trash in the game.
Caution.
To any extent, but when you're building a base,
remaining.
there are all kinds of little things you can find in these wreckage piles.
Emergency.
Like bar tables.
Of oxygen remaining.
10 seconds? Okay, fine. This is going to be pushing it a little bit. Or a lot bit. Oh boy. Oh boy, I might have pushed it too far. Might have pushed it too far. Oh. That is about as far as you can push it. I was too busy scanning stuff down here. So yeah, it's kind of dark right now. So hard to really... Okay, there's the bar table I was scanning, so let's finish that. Oh, hey. Would you leave me alone, though? Because I'm just scanning stuff. I said leave me alone. I see your shadow. Thanks.
New blueprint acquired.
Those guys don't hurt you terribly, so when they harass me, I have a tendency to just to kind of ignore them. Okay, good. It's starting to get bright again, which makes it a little bit easier to find things.
Caution. 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
Oh my goodness. I have never felt so interrupted as I do right now by that voice.
Emergency.
Okay.
Of oxygen remaining.
I'm just waiting for daylight. I actually thought daylight was coming, but it actually doesn't seem like it's getting too bright yet, which is fine. Alright, so we've got the SEAGLIDE now. We're hunting for other things. One of the things I was trying to show you by by scooting around down here and looking around, is that in the sparse reef, or not the sparse reef, this is not the sparse reef. The sparse reef is where we're going next, but this is the Grassy Plateau. In the Grassy Plateau, you can find pieces of the sea moth, and in this latest update, all you need to find are 3 pieces of it. If you don't know what the sea moth is, it's a little mini submersible that helps you get around even faster than we're getting around with the SEAGLIDE right now. But its pieces are currently hiding from me.
Caution, 30 seconds of oxygen remaining.
But again, very good news that it only takes 3. It used to take 5, so it's a little bit easier to find than it used to be. We've already been there. Cool. Battery's out again. New one. Here's an example of one of the larger deposits that you can harvest.
Emergency, 10 seconds
All right.
of oxygen
Fine.
remaining.
That's one of the larger deposits that you can harvest once you have the prawn suit. But anyway, it's actually taking a little bit for night to fade away and for daylight to come back. So what I'm going to do, rather than just... Okay, there's daylight coming right now. But we are at the 25-minute mark, so what I will do is go ahead and cut this episode here. And in the next one, we're going to jump right back in and keep looking for maybe one piece of the sea moth. But I also just want to head into some of this wreckage and look around for some of the other things that can be found. Wait. Is that... No. Yes! No. Wait. No, that's just a piece of coral. Got so excited. But yeah, there's lots of stuff to be found in here. But we're also going to go a little bit farther, and we're going to go, as I said, into the sparse reef, which is the neighboring biome to some of the deeper areas nearby. But there's also a lot to be discovered in the sparse reef. Hey, what's this?
Caution, 30 seconds.
Bioreactor fragment. I'm about to get bitten. Let's see what's in here. New battery. Very good.
Emergency, 10 seconds
All right.
of oxygen remaining.
Why am I not... There we go. That was weird. I selected the SEAGLIDE. I was freaking out for a second because I selected the SEAGLIDE, but nothing was actually happening. There, now we've got that back out. As I said, next episode we're going to look around here a little bit more, see what other technology we can scan fragment-wise, but also, again, we're going to, number 1, visit the sparse reef for some of the stuff you can find there, and that right there is a piece of the sea moth, I believe, so I'll be going after that momentarily. But also, in the next episode, we're going to start thinking about building a small base. Just as a starter base, we need to build the... Well, we do need to build the welder, definitely, so we need to get to that as well. Hey, look, there's the island that I was telling you about. How far are we from the life pod? We're a good ways. There's one of the hidden islands. That's how close we are to it. Crazy. But yes, there's that, and some other things to do as well in the next episode, such as, like I said, building our first base, building the welder, building the habitat builder, so that you actually know what different things that you can build indoors-wise, which we don't have access to yet because, again, we don't have the habitat builder, but we'll get to it. Thanks very much for watching. If you enjoyed the episode, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I upload new episodes in Survival School every day at 6 Eastern Daylight Time, which is GMT-4 for those of you not in the States. And, of course, as a reminder, right now, as I'm recording this, the channel is, of course, on a reduced schedule, so the episodes are coming out every other day, but look for it to spin back up to daily in the near future. So, again, thanks very much for watching. Comments are always welcome, and I'll see you in a bit.